Now to the very latest developments on Operation Epic Fury. It is day 5 of the war with Iran, and just this morning we got an update from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He said America is accelerating with more assets heading to the region. We also learned the identity of 4 of the 6 American service members who have lost their lives in this war. Jessica Moore joins us now with more on what we learned from this morning's briefing.
Well, Cindy, the defense secretary says the U.S. and Israel will soon have complete control of Iran's airspace as they work to ensure that country cannot rebuild its combat arsenal and they try to destroy its nuclear capabilities.
America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy.
The Pentagon says this Iranian warship is one of nearly 2,000 targets hit since the U.S. and Israel launched joint strikes against Iran on Saturday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth pushing back on reports the U.S. entered the war at Israel's request and saying the most severe strikes against Tehran are still to come.
We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
But Iran continues to retaliate with force. A drone strike hit near the U.S. consulate in Dubai, and sources tell CBS News CIA sites were hit in Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Iranian leadership saying those who accompany the enemy in any way are now considered to be among the enemies. 6 American service members have been killed in the fighting so far, including 20-year-old Sergeant Declan Cody of Iowa. He was one of 4 soldiers killed when an Iranian missile hit near a U.S. base in Kuwait.
I still don't fully think it's real. I just really wish I got to tell him I love him one more time.
Meanwhile, a source tells CBS News more than 1 million Americans are believed to be in the Middle East, many now stranded after the U.S. urged evacuations from the entire region. President Trump suggesting Tuesday there was no evacuation plan because the war unfolded too quickly.
We can see the missiles. It's crazy. And they start like 1 o'clock in the morning all the way to 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's crazy. My nieces, we have little kids who are screaming, crying. Nobody's feeling safe at all.
Today, the Senate will vote on a War Powers Act that would block President Trump's ability to take further action in Iran without congressional approval.
This isn't a war for America. This is Trump's war.
We know that war is hell, and we also know that combat's worse. We also know that Congress declares war, not the President of the United States.
In my estimation, this course of action was necessary, lawful, and effective, and reversing it now would weaken America.
Now, Democrats overwhelmingly say they want to rein in the president's unilateral decision-making, especially after he said on camera there may be more U.S. casualties. Some Republicans say they will not vote to put limits on the president unless the administration tries to deploy U.S. troops to the Middle East. Cindy?
Jessica, thank you. And an official in Iran says the country's Assembly of Experts is close to selecting a new leader to replace Ayatollah al-Khamenei, who was killed in an airstrike. On CBS News New York at 7 a.m., former U.S. ambassador to Israel, Daniel Shapiro, talked about Iran's regime.
It's not one person. It's not just the supreme leader, the Ayatollah at the top. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, perhaps 1 million members of their Basij, the paramilitary that enforces domestic security. And these are people who have a deep ideology in support of what the Iranian regime stands for, including its hatred of Israel and the United States.
Shapiro says these forces are now under threat from the U.S. and Israel and could face internal threats if the Iranian people take to the streets again. The war is also causing a surge in gas prices. AAA says the average price of a gallon of regular is $3.19. CBS News analyst Jill Schlesinger says there are steps you can take to protect your financial future.
Build or bolster your emergency reserve fund. Aim for 6 to 12 months of living expenses in a savings or a money market account. If you're not there yet, consider temporarily scaling back retirement or college contributions while you build that cushion.
She also advises you pay down high-interest debt like credit cards and maximize retirement contributions to the best of your ability, taking advantage of any employer match. And we will continue to follow the latest developments on the war in Iran. You can get updates around the clock on our website and streaming on CBS News New York.